So without doubt, this is one of my favourite TVs of the year. In the UK, it's called the Sony XH90. In the US, it's called the X900H. It delivers stunning blacks, great picture performance, and amazing colours. And all of this for under £1,000 or under $1,000. It's quite incredible. Now, a number of you, since I did my head-to-head with this against the far more expensive LG CX OLED, have been asking for my picture settings. So guys, in this video, I'm going to run through them for you. Don't forget to hit the red button to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and click the notification bell to get my next video first. So as well as doing this video, guys, I will be leaving the link to the settings on my website. I'll leave that in the description, so if you want to follow along, if you'd prefer to do that, then just go to the website. Okay, so we're going to be looking at the picture mode for general day-to-day viewing first of all. Now, this isn't necessarily for watching movies, but it's for watching standard TV. Now, the picture mode, as you can see, has various different settings from vivid to cinema. I'm going to go into custom. Now, a lot of what I change will be very minor changes from the actual defaults, because the defaults on this is actually pretty good. Make sure, guys, whatever you do, do not use vivid, because vivid is hideous. But actually, cinema mode is pretty good for watching videos, but we're going to be going into custom. Now, I would just say that this is my personal settings. I'm not saying that this is the right settings for you, but a number of you have asked which ones I use. Now, a lot of what I change is only going to be very subtle. It does change a little bit between the different modes as well, so not only will we be looking at this for normal TV watching, but we'll look at the game mode as well, and I'll touch on Netflix as well. But first of all, at the top you've got picture mode, and so we keep that to custom. Whatever you do, don't go to vivid. Then we have auto picture mode, that obviously stays as off. Light sensor, again, I just don't see the need for that, so I leave that off. And brightness, I've just moved that down very slightly from 40, which is the default, down to 39. And I'm really being fussy, and what I did with these settings is I changed all of these when I had it head-to-head with that OLED. Okay, so the contrast is 90. The gamma, again, I liked either -1 or -2. I think -1 probably worked best for me. The black level I left exactly the same at 50. You can see that you can get some serious blacks, some ridiculously black blacks if you go down, and again if you went up higher it would go and wash the blacks out. Leave the black adjust to off. One thing I really love about this menu system is that you can have a play with it and you can change all the settings to your heart's content and just put it back if you don't like it. So advanced contrast enhancer, that's not necessary for me, so I'm leaving that turned off. Now auto local dimming, this is a local dimming TV, so there's no point not having some form of it on. I found that high was probably a little bit too much. Now we do believe that there's about 32 local dimming zones here, not massive, but it's important that you probably have it either to medium or high. Extended dynamic range, and again this is something which I didn't feel the need to have on, so I left that off. Now when it comes to colour, I tend to find that I'm not a fan of oversaturated colours, and so therefore I take the colour slightly lower down to around 48. And again, the hue, some people are fans of putting it towards a red tint or a green tint, but I leave mine right in the middle. And again, color temperature, you've got a few different settings. You've got cool, warm, expert 1, expert 2. Again, for me, expert 1 was the right setting, and I think that's the default that it comes with. Live color, again, you don't need to change anything there in my opinion, so just leave that off. Now when we get down to clarity, here you've got sharpness and you've got reality creation. So for sharpness, I left that on 50, and on reality creation, I took that to manual and then left it at the resolution of 20, which again, I believe is the default. Now with some of these, even when you rank it right up to the very top, you don't see that much difference. It would probably only be in certain scenes that you see it. But for the majority, that resolution set at 20 and manual on reality creation was exactly enough for me. Okay, down to random noise reduction. Again, I've left that off, but you can change it and see whether that makes any difference to you. And again, on digital noise reduction, I would either have that off or have it set to low. It's entirely what you want. Now this reduces the noise seen around letters and compression noise. Now I found that this makes a difference in different lights depending on how you're watching the TV. So sometimes low actually seems better, but the majority of the time I just turn it off. Motion and motion flow. This is where when you go into this, you can change it again, have it custom. You can change the smoothness. Now, again, this is down to personal taste. Some people do like to have the smoothness there, and you can adjust the strength and clarity by inserting, this is called black frame insertion, but I don't tend to do too much different from what the default is there. And again, in film mode, I just leave that to auto. HDR mode, again, you can force either HLG or HDR10, or you can turn it off completely, but I always set it to auto because then it will go with the source that is intended. Now, the remaining options, color space and advanced color adjustment, you don't really need to do too much there because that's really designed if you're going to be using the TV, for instance, as a monitor and you're touching up photographs and you're looking at getting color accuracy. So those things just leave as they are. Okay, let's now go into gaming, and the first thing that you'll need to do is change into game mode. This will lower the input response time and give it the fastest possible response. But there are still some changes that we'll need to make, and surprisingly there are some differences between watching normal TV, and I found that there were some changes which I didn't think that I was necessarily going to make. One of those being brightness. As you can see, it was set at 40, but I'm now going to rank that right up to the maximum, which is actually what it's designed to be. That is the default. The contrast, again, that can stay at 90, and again with gamma I've left that at -1, so you can have that again -1 or -2. Leave the black level exactly the same, and black adjust turn off, as with advanced contrast enhancer. And auto local dimming, this time rather than having it on medium, I took it down to low. Again, for my setup, I just felt that was a better picture. Left extended dynamic range to off, and then in the color, this will be a personal choice, but again, some people say around 54, 55 is about the right for them, but I like to go a little bit lower at around 49, and again, I left hue at 0. Color temperature, you've got obviously the same options: cool, neutral, warm, expert 1 and expert 2. On this, I found expert 2 to be better, and live color here, you've got low, off, or medium, or high. And again here I chose low. Right, clarity, I tweaked this to around the 55 mark, which is just slightly above the default. Reality creation, again I left it to manual, but I put it on 15. And motion, the other two were off, but motion flow, I've had off and left it to minimum at the bottom. And film mode is off anyway. HDR mode, again, you've got auto. You can choose between the different types on the HDMI video range, for instance. But color space, again, I left all exactly the same. Okay, now for Netflix. Now this was a really good example of the things that you can change within the settings. Obviously Netflix is a built-in application on the TV. It's obviously HDR, it's Dolby Vision, etc. But I'm going to show you what I changed. I'm going to give you then a screenshot of the before and after, and hopefully you can see that I made it a lot better by changing a few of the different settings. So again, into picture. And in here you have the options of vivid, Dolby Vision bright, or Dolby Vision dark. Now we're going to leave it on Dolby Vision dark. I think that just does a better job with the blacks. Netflix calibrated mode I'm turning on. Watch Netflix with original intended picture quality. So again, it's sensible to leave that on. Okay, so everything else is just exactly the same, and then I can show you this is what we've calibrated it to. So this is what we're watching, and this is what it was before. So there is a subtle difference. If I zoom in, we've got this compared to this. So it does a better job of the black levels, and it almost looks like there's better clarity as well. You're not getting so much noise in the image. So guys, that's it for my picture settings on these. I will leave the link in the description, so if you want to check these out on the website, then do so. But I hope this has been useful for you. Give me a thumbs up and leave a comment and let me know whether you would do anything different. Thanks my friends for watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next.